admire the list. Let's see how many more we can get through. We got another 2 hours, so let's see how much we can do. All right, let's do this. Next up, we have the Forbidden Nocturne from the Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I am a professionally trained musician. I'm a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way that you don't have to be a professionally trained musician to understand what is happening here musically. So if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, all that good stuff. This is recorded live on stream, so I'm going to be pausing a lot as I will explain things as I hear them. And of course, this is all done in a single take, so keep that in mind. Now, with that being said, let's get started. Forbidden Nocturne. Let's go. Okay. We're 4 seconds in, and I'm loving this already. We have 3 elements going on right now. We have a very deep bass. Very, very deep bass, almost subsonic. Which, subsonic, it's a colloquial term that I use to describe music that is below the threshold of what a human being can hear. So when it comes to sound, we can hear frequencies. Every audio wave that exists is on a certain frequency. No matter what audio wave it is on a certain frequency. And the human ear and each frequency is measured in hertz. Hertz being the frequency of the frequencies kind of thing. And the human ear has a hearing range of up to 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Most people do not have this. Most people will have ranges closer to maybe 40, maybe 60 hertz, down up to maybe 18 or even 16,000 hertz. As you get older and as you damage your hearing, as you use your hearing, the range of the capacity of your hearing is going to go down over time. There are sounds that younger people can hear, but older people can't. That is actually a thing. So a subsonic sound, what I call that, is sounds that are below 20 hertz. And they are very common in horror games, very common in horror films, because these sounds, when used at a certain frequency, they can induce anxiety. They can very, very much bring you that pressure from within that can have that. So yeah, by the way, if you have anxiety at a certain place, check to see if there's nothing like moving, like if there's nothing rattling or something like that. Subsonics are very, very powerful, very, very useful in horror. So if you want to make a horror game and you want to add to the atmosphere and you want the player to feel crushed by the atmosphere, add some subsonic frequencies. They're not going to be able to hear it, but they're going to be able to feel it. So we have that. We have a bass that I think might be kind of like an overtone, which means the subsonic is playing and then the echo-ish, like an overtone is a note on top of a note. That happens, and this happens with most things. It's just that some of the overtones are a little too high. An overtone is that you take a sound wave and you cut it, and then you get something else. So if you have an overtone, a audio wave at 30 hertz, and you cut it in half, you're going to get another audio wave of 30 hertz, at 60 hertz, which is something that people are going to be able to hear, but they're not going to be able to hear the one at 30 hertz, might not be able to hear the one at 30 hertz. It's going to be a little bit too low. I already lost myself. The point is, overtones, they stack sounds on top of each other in a more natural way. And this is something that we have right now, kind of. We have the film machine doing like a projector. How does 20 hertz cause anxiety or whatever? I don't know. That I don't know. I just know it does because it works. It's a reaction to, it's a physical reaction that we have. Kind of how, heat makes you sweat, cold makes you shiver, that kind of thing. Subsonic sound gives you anxiety. It's probably because the brain is understanding that there's something out there that you can't perceive It could be something along those lines. I don't know the science behind it. I just know that that is how it works. Or that is what works. And then we have this little music box with a waltz rhythm. We have this music box giving us a very, very special time signature. 6/8. Again, time signatures determine how many notes and what kind of notes will be in each bar. The upper note determines the number of notes. The lower number, the upper number is the number of notes. The lower number determines which kind of note. And in English, it's super simple. Whole notes is 1, half notes 2, quarter notes 4. That's a horrible quarter note. And eighth notes 8. So 6/8 means 6/8 notes per bar. And the thing about the waltz is that you play pretty much every note, but you play it the way that it's being played over here. Boom, bum, bum, boom, bum, bum, boom, bum, bum. And what they are doing with this waltz is that they are playing 5 of the 6 notes. The very, very last note that we're having in this waltz is not being played in these chords. But the rest of it pretty much fits the waltz formula. Let's see where they take this. So yeah, we're having this synth back there, kind of a subsonic, kind of not really. And we're having this beautiful, and now we're having, yeah, the rattling is the sound of a film projector, by the way. That's the sound of a film projector. Very, very emblematic of old school venues, such as Chuck E. Cheese's, old film theaters, that kind of stuff. And you know, the whole point of Five Nights at Freddy's, the animatronics, they are a kind of an old school thing. Nowadays, we don't really have animatronics like this. We don't really have Chuck E. Cheese's anymore in the same way that we used to. So Five Nights at Freddy's using this kind of sound, it gives you that sense of retro. Kind of how the 8-bit music gives you a sense of retro. This is giving you a sense of even further retro, but not to the extent that it feels digital, it feels analog. Because film, you know, the projectors, you had to load up the music, the film reels and everything, and it had this whole machinery to it. So it's a very mechanical thing, it's a very analog thing, and including it in this gives you that sense of analog machinery. And of course, analog machinery means that the components are not digital. So most animatronics would operate under hydraulics, which is every articulation, every movement that they make is based not on an engine that moves with electricity, but that moves with air. And it's pushed around by either electricity or by another source of fuel, which I think is part of the creepiness or the spooky aspect that Five Nights at Freddy's has, right? So we add that, and on top of that, we are using this whole waltz as our motif. The motif, of course, being the musical idea, the smallest version of it, the seed from which everything else comes from. And the cool thing about this bit is that we're doing an incomplete waltz measure. We're only playing 5 of the 6 notes, and that alone is giving that sense of incompleteness that allows the melody, which is just the top note of each chord, to have a little bit of extra creepiness to it. And on top of that, we are having this lower synth giving us a little bit of a counterpoint to this music box that is playing on the top, but it's kind of fading in and out, kind of not there. It's kind of difficult to tell whether or not it is there or if it's just us. Very, you know, emblematic to these games. Let's continue. Very cool chord, this one. To destabilize everything. Alright, the music box has stopped. Oh, this is really cool. So we have a little bit of panning over here on the right ear. Panning, of course, being the concept of you having different tracks playing in different ears. You know, we use stereo most of the time, which just means right ear, left ear will have different sounds or can have different sounds. And right now we're employing that in the sense of right ear has this film projector rattling that is happening. And now on the left side, we're having this kind of like a copy, a doubling of the music box, but a little bit lower and a little bit distorted, as to say, yeah, there is something wrong here. There is something wrong here. The chords being played so far, the melodies being played so far have been very innocent in many aspects, but this is giving it this sense of something's wrong here. Not everything is all right here at the what was the sister's location, right? So let's see. Very subtle, and it comes back and forth. Oh, we got a variation of the melody there. Very nice. Now we're having a proper melody here. Nice. Yep, now it's stopped being distorted. It's kind of just playing on the left ear. Echoing. Every once in a while it's distorted. Every once in a while it isn't. Oh, this is really beautiful. This is a really beautiful melody. And we just keep... Dude, this is a rondo. This is a rondo. This is a very small rondo. A rondo, of course, being the structure of music when you have a little theme, because we are doing it now. We had the section A, which is the music box. Then we moved to section B when we had a couple of the changes in the chords. Then we went back to section A, those same initial chords, that broken waltz. Then we went to section C, which was this variation on the melodies, the little distorted thing back here. Sure, James, sure. I might be right. I might be right. I often am wrong. I'm often wrong. We'll see. We'll see. Because then because we just went back to A. So if this is a rondo, we should be hearing something different now, a section D. Let's see if I'm right. Because these are the same chords that we had at the beginning. Let's see. Repeating. A plays twice, I believe. This chord progression. Which, by the way, a series of chords is called a chord progression. I think I've completely forgot to say that. When you play chords one after the other, that is called a progression. Yeah, this is a separate section. Let's hear it. There we go, section D. So about the anxiety part of the flight pressure on your chest? Yeah, if you expose yourself to subsonics for too long, you will start feeling it. This is really cool. End of section D, back to section A. And I think this is where we're gonna finish it. We're gonna finish it with A, because most rondos end with a section A. You start with A, you end with A. Maybe you start with an intro, but this time it has been a very straightforward rondo. You know, we had these little chords. Or the Warren County sound is really good. I mean, it's really good, yeah. This is super well produced. I am very surprised at how good this is with how few elements this has. And then it loops. And then it loops. There you go. So these, I like how clever these ones are from Freddy's, from Five Nights at Freddy's we've listened to so far. They're just designed to loop. They're just designed to start right up, right over again, because this last one played only one. It played the A section incomplete. It was an incomplete A section so that it could be completed. And the first A section being played was not complete either. So that you could start the Rondo here with the second half of A, and you finish it with the first half of A. And that way you can tell the software, okay, first half of A is done, time to jump back to the second half of A. And that's it. This was really creative. We had what? The rattling of the film, we had the subsonic, we had the little bass that was jumping back and forth, the music box, and then the little echoing of the music box. 5 layers of music. That is 5 layers of music. And it was a really very simple, very nice and simple, very straightforward rondo. Like, this is a textbook rondo. Rondo, kind of like waltz, kind of not really, giving you this sense of like, you know, dance, which, you know, the waltz often is seen as a very innocent thing, like a very playful, because, you know, it's dancing is supposed to be playful. And when you add these tiny little distortions here and there to this kind of waltz, it gives it this sense of something's wrong, of unsettling. It becomes unsettling, because usually in a waltz you would have your lower section of the orchestra, so the cellos, the double basses, maybe the violins and the lower end of the violins and the violas playing the chords that this music box was playing. But the composer decided, but let's not do that. Let's just have it all be up here, kind of looming above you, looming around you in a very ominous sense, taking this simple concept, because it's a super simple couple of concepts, flipping a couple of the aspects of them on their head and making it sound spooky. There you go. That was just really clever. That's just really clever. Again, I am not the target audience for Five Nights at Freddy's, but I can respect the amount of work that they've put into it and the amount of craftsmanship that has gone into these. This was good. This was very, very, very good, especially for game music. This is really good. So there you have it. That was the Forbidden Nocturne from the Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA. This has been a Basterd's LFA. I'm a professionally trained musician / composer, and I hope I have explained things in a way so that you don't have to be a professionally trained musician to understand what has happened here musically. If you're watching this on the YouTube archive, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, follow the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, all that good stuff. And if you want to listen to this thing, to this track in full, I'll be linking it on the description down below so that you can go check it out. Really, really good stuff. And, of course, if you want to catch the live streams live when these are recorded, the links to both the Discord and the Twitch channel that have the schedules with the schedules showing on your local time zone are available down below. If you want to request a track for us to do, go ahead and leave a comment if you're watching this on the video archive. Game soundtracks only, original soundtracks only. And yeah, there you go. There you go. Really, really, really good stuff. This is surprisingly good. There you have it, the Forbidden Nocturne from the Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location soundtrack. Good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.